Good evening. Welcome to South Asia Newsline. I'm Yeshi Chanza. Here are the top stories we're tracking for you on Wednesday, the 16th of February. Indian Prime Minister Modi hits out at opposition parties in poll-bound Punjab state. Six months since Taliban takeover, Afghans hope for better future. And Nepal's Prime Minister backtracks on tabling US-funded MCC Compact Agreement. And now for all the details. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Wednesday highlighted his government's development initiatives and hit out at opposition parties for mismanagement as he addressed an election rally in Pathankot in poll-bound northern Punjab state.
Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi, while addressing an election rally in Pathankot in poll-bound northern Punjab state on Wednesday, hit out at opposition Congress and the Aam Aadmi Party and said his government has prioritized development after decades of mismanagement by political rivals. Invoking Sant Ravidas on his birth anniversary, Modi said his BJP-led government in the centre was following ideals of the 15th century saint philosopher and that the welfare of the poor was above everything else for it. He said if voted to power in the state, the BJP-led alliance will make farming, trade and industry profitable in 5 years.
मुझे 5 साल आपकी सेवा करने का मौका दीजिए। मैं आपको भरोसा देता हूं, किसानी, व्यापार, इंडस्ट्री नो लाहेबंद बनाया जाएगा।
Meanwhile, Aam Aadmi Party convener Arvind Kejriwal held a roadshow in Punjab's Jalandhar city on Wednesday. Political analysts say a contest is forming between the Aam Aadmi Party and the Congress, while BJP is unlikely to feature in the running in Punjab. The Congress currently holds power only in Punjab, while BJP holds Uttar Pradesh, Uttarakhand, Goa and Manipur, the 4 other states that go to vote this month.
Legendary Indian singer and musician Bappi Lahiri, who was known for his groovy disco tunes, died on Wednesday at the age of 69 in western Mumbai city. He was ailing for some time and died due to obstructive sleep apnea. His cremation will be held on Thursday. Personalities from all walks of life mourned his death, with many remembering their favorite songs. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi said he was saddened by Lahiri's death.
Legendary Bollywood singer-composer Bappi Lahiri passed away on Tuesday night at the age of 69 in western Mumbai's Criticare Hospital. After recovering from COVID-19 last year, Lahiri was ailing for some time and died due to obstructive sleep apnea, a condition he had been suffering from since 2021. An official statement was released by the late composer's family, where it was announced that the funeral will take place on Thursday at Pawan Hans Crematorium.
अभी उनका बेटा आ रहा है अमेरिका से, बप्पा जो मेरा दामाद है, वो भी रात को आएंगे 2 बजे, फिर कल का हमने सोचा है फ्यूनरल का।
Mahendra's daughter Tanisha is married to Bappi Lahiri's son Bappa, who is currently in Los Angeles. As the news of Bappi Lahiri's death became public on Wednesday morning, tributes began pouring in. Personalities from all walks of life, including Prime Minister Narendra Modi, paid tribute to Lahiri. PM said he was saddened by Lahiri's death. Best known for popularizing disco song to the Indian mainstream in the 80s and the 90s, the singer was fondly known as Bappida. He was style icon for many and was always seen sporting gleaming gold chains and bracelets. He delivered popular songs in several films like Chalte Chalte, Disco Dancer and Sharabi.
In news from Pakistan, opposition parties in Pakistan have rejected the recent hike in fuel prices and demanded the government reverse the decision, saying it has dropped an atom bomb on people of Pakistan. Prime Minister Imran Khan's government on Tuesday jacked up the price of petrol by up to 12 rupees, the highest ever price hike in one go.
A week after, Finance Minister Shaukat Tareen said that the government cannot lower petroleum product prices artificially, the Pakistan government on Tuesday jacked up the price of petrol by up to Rs 12.03 per litre, citing an increase in the price of crude oil in the international market. The move has received sharp criticism from all opposition parties, including PPP and the PMLN, which have demanded Prime Minister Imran Khan's PTI-led government to reverse the decision, saying it has dropped an atom bomb on the common people. Sher Rahman, Vice President of Opposition Pakistan People's Party, said in a tweet, "It is time that the tyrant anti-people government is ousted."
आज की मौजूदा महंगाई की सिचुएशन में एक बार फिर जो एक महंगाई का एटम बम वफाकी हुकूमत फोड़ने जा रही है, जिसके तहत 12 रुपए पेट्रोल की कीमतों में और तकरीबन 9 रुपए डीजल की कीमतों में जो इजाफा वफाकी हुकूमत कर रही है, उससे जो महंगाई बरपा होगी पाकिस्तान भर में, वो जिस तरीके से एक आम आदमी को, मिडिल क्लास को, लोअर इनकम आदमी को गुर्बत की तरफ धकेलेगी, परेशानी की तरफ धकेलेगी। मैं समझता हूँ वक्त आ गया है कि पाकिस्तानी अवाम के सामने ये चीज़ आया हो चुकी है।
The inflation rate in Pakistan steeply rose to a 2-year high of 13% in January. A raise in fuel prices was well expected after the government passed a mid-year budget last month and withdrew tax exemptions in a bid to control the fiscal deficit, a move meant to revive a stalled International Monetary Fund program.
Moving on, Pakistan's MQM Muttahida Qaumi Movement founder leader Altaf Hussain has been acquitted of terror charges and declared non-guilty in a hate speech case. Hussain was charged with a terrorism offence in the UK in 2019 in connection with the speech relayed to followers in Pakistan in 2016 that allegedly encouraged violence. After deliberations that spanned 3 days, a 12-member jury on Tuesday declared that they found Hussain not to be in violation of the UK's anti-terrorism laws. Altaf Hussein's MQM, a mainstream political party of the Mohajir community, has dominated Pakistan's largest city, Karachi, since the 1980s. When security forces cracked down on the party in the 1990s, Altaf Hussain sought asylum in the United Kingdom. Even from exile in London, Hussain has been a vocal critic of Pakistan's military and often blames it of using force to muzzle dissenting voices in the country. In news from Afghanistan, Afghanistan's economy has continued to deteriorate, with inflation for basic household goods reaching nearly 42% in January compared to the year earlier period, according to the World Bank. 6 months since the Taliban came to power in Kabul in August last year, residents of the capital remain uncertain about their future.
6 months since the Taliban came to power in Afghanistan, Kabul residents remain uncertain about the future, citing lack of jobs, assets that remain frozen, as well as an increase in hunger and poverty. On Tuesday, the streets of Kabul bustled with crowds and stalls set up by vendors, marking exactly 6 months since Taliban seized power.
تفاوتی که 6 ماهی که امارت اسلامی آمده کار باری ترا نیست دیگه، هم اگه چیز فراوان است ولی کار نیست. سابقه 6 ماه پیش از 6 ماه کار بار بود، همه مردم کار بود، از هر چیز بود. حالا یک کمک کنه کار بار مردم بیاد رقم هر چیز، فقر گشنگی و ترا زیادتر شده.
The central bank funds have been frozen since the Taliban took over the country as foreign forces withdrew in August. The frozen funding, combined with sanctions and a drop-off in development funding, have sent the country's economy into free fall, unleashing a humanitarian crisis.
آینده رو ما پیش بینی عالی که پیش بینی میکنیم. گفتم که امارت اسلامی را اگر به رسمیت بشناسه، پول ما آزاد شود، خوب پیش بینی میکنیم. اگر نه که نشناسه امارت اسلامی را، اگر پول ما آزاد نشود، ما آینده را در بدری فکر میکنیم.
Last week, Afghanistan's central bank criticized Washington's plan to use half of the bank's $7 billion in frozen assets on US soil for humanitarian aid and set aside the rest to possibly satisfy lawsuits over the September 11, 2001 attacks. The Taliban warned it would reconsider its policy towards the US if President Biden did not reverse his decision to return only half the amount. Meanwhile, the Islamic Emirate delegation, led by acting Foreign Minister Maulvi Amir Khan Muttaqi, held talks with European Union's representatives in Doha on Tuesday and discussed Afghanistan's requirements as well as humanitarian, health and education situation, according to Ministry of Foreign Affairs. The EU representative showed readiness to increase humanitarian aid as well as health and education assistance to Afghanistan. The Islamic Emirate delegation also held talks with Qatari officials from several civil service and education institutions. According to political analysts, Qatar is one of the countries that wants to play a mediating role between the Taliban government and the world in an effort that is more focused on bilateral interaction.
2 leopard cats were released back in the wild at Pakistan's Margalla hills this weekend after their rescue from poachers in Karachi city. The rare cats, both male, were rescued by the Sindh Wildlife Department after the team was informed by locals that an illegal sale was taking place in the birds market in the port city of Karachi. The price tag on both cats in total was 200,000 Pakistani rupees, that is $1,141. They were kept in Karachi's Sindh Wildlife Department before being transported to the Margalla Hills National Park's Rescue Centre, where caretakers and doctors assessed the cats before they were released back into the wild. The poachers of the leopards are currently in custody and being interrogated. According to wildlife officials, leopard cats are mainly hunted to be kept as pets but also for their fur.
मुल्ज़मान हमारे पास ही हैं और उनसे अभी हम तफ्तीश कर रहे हैं कि आया ये कौन लेके आया, किस तरीके से लाया और इतनी नायाब नस्ल को कैसे इन्होंने पकड़ा, उस पर तफ्तीश जारी है और बाकी इन पे जो वाइल्ड लाइफ के कानून के मुताबिक कार्रवाई है वो की जाएगी इन पे.
In news from Nepal, Nepal's Prime Minister Sher Deuba has agreed not to table MCC, the Millennium Challenge Corporation compact in the parliament after the CPN-Maoist Centre threatened to quit the coalition government if the $500 million US grant agreement is introduced without amendments. The meeting of the ruling alliance called for Thursday will take a decision on the matter, reports suggest.
Nepal's Prime Minister Sher Deuba agreed not to table MCC, the Millennium Challenge Corporation compact in the parliament during Wednesday's proceedings after the CPN-Maoist Centre led by Pushpa Kamal Dahal threatened to quit the coalition government if the US grant agreement is introduced without amendments. The meeting of the ruling alliance will take a decision on the matter on Thursday, local media reports suggested, while protests also continued over the issue. Under the MCC deal, Nepal signed an agreement with the US to receive development grant assistance worth $500 million in 2017. As part of it, Nepal is expected to develop roads and an electricity grid. But critics fear there is a military component in it and that Nepal's sovereignty would be at stake if it is ratified by the parliament. Meanwhile, the opposition CPN-UML continued to obstruct the House for the 162nd day, leading to adjournment of proceedings till Friday. The party has been demanding the resignation of Speaker Agni Prasad Sapkota, accusing him of not fulfilling his duties by not removing the 14 lawmakers from their posts against whom the CPN-UML had requested the Speaker to take action.
Showcasing the scenic beauty of India's Jammu and Kashmir and harnessing its sports and tourism potential, a winter carnival was organized by authorities in Kulgam district this week. Scores of sport enthusiasts participated in the 3-day-long carnival, which witnessed snow games including rugby, snow volleyball and skiing.
A 3-day winter carnival was organized in Gulgam district of India's Jammu and Kashmir this week to attract tourists and promote scenic beauty and tourism in the area. Participants belonging from different sports fields competed in the various sports activities including cricket, snow volleyball matches, skiing, snow rugby, tug of war, among other games that were held in the carnival amid heavy snow. Tourists lauded the efforts by the district authorities and called it a promising initiative.
This winter carnival that is going on here, it is a very promising initiative from the district administration and also the tourism department of the district. And I would say tourism is something which is an emerging and the most potential sector as far as district Kulgam is concerned. We know about many beautiful places like Sonmarg, Gulmarg and all in Kerala, but there are as beautiful places in this district also which is yet to be explored.
Tourism is one of the main sources of income for Jammu and Kashmir. Due to the COVID-19 pandemic, the tourism sector in Union Territory suffered huge losses in the past 2 consecutive tourism seasons.
Well, that's all we have for you from South Asia this evening. Now our viewers can watch the show on SouthAsiaNewsline.com. You can also visit us on Facebook.com/AsiaNewsline and follow us on Twitter @AsiaNewsline. That's all in tonight's edition. We will see you same time tomorrow. Good night.